Texas, the number of women who died while pregnant, during labor, or shortly after childbirth skyrocketed following the state's 2021 abortion ban. According to a recent investigation, maternal deaths in Texas jumped by a staggering 56% between 2019 and 2022, compared to just 11% nationwide over the same period. These statistics are more than just numbers. They represent real people, real families, and real heartbreak.
The passage of Texas Senate Bill 8 gave GEPI researchers the opportunity to take an early look at how near-total bans on abortion, including cases in which the mother's life was in danger, affected the health and safety of pregnant women. The SB 8 effect, Cohen's team found, was swift and stark. Within a year, maternal mortality rose in all racial groups studied. Among Hispanic women, the rate of women dying while pregnant, during childbirth, or soon after, increased from 14.5 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births in 2019 to 18.9 in 2022. Rates among white women nearly doubled, from 20 per 100,000 to 39.1. And black women, who historically have higher chances of dying while pregnant, during childbirth, or soon after, saw their rates go from 31.6 to 43.6 per 100,000 live births. While maternal mortality spiked overall during the pandemic, women dying while pregnant or during childbirth rose consistently in Texas following the state's ban on abortion, according to the Gender Equity Policy Institute. Maternal mortality in Texas is plus 56%, whereas plus 11% nationwide.
So why should men care about abortion access? The issue of abortion may seem at first glance to be something that primarily affects women. After all, it's women who carry pregnancies, right? But what we're seeing in Texas is clear. Great, let's dive deeper into why men should care about abortion access by exploring some key points that expand on the YouTube video's central argument.
1. Shared responsibility for family health. When a woman is pregnant, it's often thought of as primarily her health and responsibility. But in reality, her health directly impacts the entire family, especially her partner. If she faces complications due to a lack of access to abortion, her partner is left navigating those difficult situations alongside her, often with no control over her care options. Men who care about the well-being of their partners and families should be especially concerned about this growing issue. The physical risks of pregnancy affect emotional, mental, and financial health for everyone involved. 2. Men as advocates for choice. Even though abortion directly impacts women, men play an essential role as allies in advocating for reproductive rights. By showing up to support policies that protect abortion access, men demonstrate that they understand the broader implications of health and autonomy. Men can work to reduce stigma and misinformation, supporting women's choices with empathy and understanding. This advocacy can ripple through society, encouraging other men to step up and engage in these critical conversations. 3. Economic impacts of restrictive abortion laws. When women are forced to carry pregnancies to term in unsafe or unwanted conditions, families often face significant financial burdens. Medical bills for complicated pregnancies, loss of income due to health issues, and the cost of raising a child under difficult circumstances can strain family finances. Men who often share in these financial responsibilities have a stake in ensuring their partners have access to comprehensive reproductive health care. Additionally, when women are denied abortions, studies show they are more likely to live in poverty, which also impacts men, particularly in shared households. Access to safe abortion means that families have the option to choose when they are financially and emotionally ready to grow. 4. Impact on mental health and relationships. The stress of pregnancy complications and restricted healthcare access can significantly affect a couple's mental and emotional health. Many men report feeling helpless when their partners face severe pregnancy risks, and this can lead to strained relationships, anxiety, and depression. Men who care about maintaining a healthy and supportive partnership should be aware of how abortion restrictions amplify this stress, increasing the emotional and psychological burden on both partners. Men can also be emotionally affected by the difficult decisions surrounding pregnancies, particularly when a wanted pregnancy takes a tragic turn as we saw with the story of Caitlin Cash. Men, as partners and fathers, should be part of the conversation, ensuring that families have all medical options available to them. By understanding these broader impacts, men can become important allies in the fight for reproductive rights, recognizing that abortion access is not just a women's issue, but a societal one that affects everyone. Evidence that when abortion access is restricted, it impacts everyone, men included.
When abortion is restricted, more pregnancies are forced to go full term, increasing the risks for women, risks that also affect their partners, their families, and their communities.
Since Texas implemented its Senate Bill 8 in 2021, we've seen an undeniable rise in fear among our patients. Many women are choosing permanent sterilization procedures because they fear getting pregnant in a state where they may not have access to the care they need, even in life-threatening situations.
Women are forgoing pregnancy altogether because they're afraid, and who shares that fear? Their partners, their families, their communities. Doctors are seeing more and more women in their late 30s and 40s who are afraid to conceive, terrified by the idea that they may be forced to carry a pregnancy to term, even if there's a life-threatening complication. Imagine being a father-to-be, realizing that if something goes wrong, your partner may not have access to life-saving care.
We were so excited for our second child, but at 13 weeks we learned that our baby had severe skeletal dysplasia. His bones would break in the womb, and he wouldn't survive the birth. We were devastated. And then, because of Texas's law, we had to leave the state just to get the care we needed.
Caitlin and her husband, Corey, had to travel to Kansas for a termination, a deeply painful experience, made even worse by the stress of leaving home, facing protesters, and being treated like criminals. Stories like Caitlin and Corey's aren't rare. Men often experience these situations hand in hand with their partners. They support, they worry, they hurt. Their parents, too. They suffer when medical care is withheld from the women they love. For many men, the idea of abortion can seem far removed from their daily lives, but it's not. When abortion care is restricted, families suffer. And it's important to remember that it's not just women who face the consequences. Men, too, lose the partners they love, the children they hoped to raise, and the futures they imagined together. Abortion access is not just a women's issue. It's a family issue. It's an issue of health, safety, and survival for mothers, fathers, and children alike. So why should men care about abortion access? Because when women lose their rights to healthcare, men lose too. Because protecting women's access to safe and legal abortion protects our families, our futures, and our loved ones. Let's care for the people we love by standing up for their right to safe, compassionate medical care. If you or someone you know is affected by restrictive abortion laws, get informed, get involved, and help make a difference. Subscribe to Mind Body Balance 449 for more on health, family, and equality.